So for once the weatherman was wrong on the rain. It didn't hardly rain last night, so luckily my path looks like it's gonna hold up. There is some thunderstorms coming about lunchtime, so I'm gonna try to haul another 8, 10, 11, 12 loads with the truck out of the pond site and dump over here and have that stockpile for whenever I clear those trees and fill that in. So let me go ahead and fire this up and back down there and get ready to load it out. Robert drove through the mud and got a little muddy. Truck is back down here. I had to climb over the fence as the wind blew my ladder over. Looks like well, I'm not going to say it looks like it's full, but it looks like it's full. I don't think it is though. Running out, not yet. So I'm going to make another cut from about that bucket across here. I think I have enough time today before it rains to get that material out. And then what I'm probably going to do if I have time is cut my ditch down a little deeper from that end up here. It falls about 4.5, 5 feet from down there where the dam's going to go to right here. So if I kind of cut more of a flatter ditch in here, it should keep this drained majority of the time. Majority of the time. Cutting some more pond out here. Dirt by the track to keep the machine put. Making another cut about, I don't know, 20 feet wide here. Looks like I'm starting to get into more clay, which is fine. I can still spread it out over there where I'm taking it to. It's going to get mixed in. But probably on the next cuts, I'll probably just start stripping the topsoil off and not making a full cut at once. That way I can remove the topsoil and then be able to start salvaging that clay for the pond dam. And I'll probably work my way from this side and work my way out, because the rest of the dirt I can haul it out over there. And I found a spot on the other side of the farm I can stockpile it at for now, and then figure out what to do with it later. I'm going to leave a little bit of an edge right here to keep all that from pouring in here while I'm digging this out. And it'll just keep this dirt a little bit drier, because this is some of the probably the best sealing pond clay you could ever ask for. The problem with it is when it gets wet, it stays wet until we have a drought. It is some of the stickiest, nastiest, gooeyest clay. But it does not allow water to go through it, so therefore it is a phenomenal pond material. So just looking at it, I can already tell that my pond dam's going to be made out of it, and it's probably going to be a little mushy, because there's so much moisture in the ground right now, and this is really the only time I have to work on this thing. So probably, even if it starts raining, at least get that ditch cut so that maybe the ground will dry out a little bit better. But it's not going to do too much with all the rain in the forecast. But nothing I can do about that. Make sure I cut that slightly above that, like so. Mud. I think I'm just going to leave that little ridge right there for now, and then whenever I do this cut right here, I can just reach over and knock it down. That way it's not flooding my cut with that water just yet. keep this a little more civilized. It'll be about 5 feet deep right here, and then it's going to taper down to about 8 or 9 down there at the pond dam. And I've got some stumps and another burn pile. I'll probably do a little fish structure down there, but not too much right up here. Alright, let me go ahead and transfer this over and load out some mud. Alright, I'm going to finish this corner of the pond out, stockpile the dirt, probably load it out to open up a little more room right here. And then I'm going to reach out there and go ahead and cut that little cofferdam out and pile it up where it can be loaded out. Just about gotten done what I wanted to. Actually a little bit earlier than I thought I would. So that's working out good as well. Should have time to cut my little ditch in here and maybe strip a little bit of topsoil. I'll look at the weather again and see how much it looks like it's going to rain before I get overzealous. About this project is just being able to do a little bit of it here and there, even though when it comes time to put the dam in, that's when it's going to be go time. But it's relaxing to be able to come down here and fiddle with this 2 or 3 hours here and there, half a day, whatever. I've enjoyed it. That's what this property was all about, being able to work on things and fiddle around. And actually, I really enjoy, I mean, even though it's work just like I do every day, it's different. It's different when it's your own. No time constraints on when it gets done. Just kind of pluck away with it a little bit here and there. I'm glad I'm getting into all this clay, because that's what I need for my pond dam. I just didn't realize I was going to have to move 20 loads of mud to get to it. Load this material out, and then I'll get a video of busting that little dam and watching it flood this little cut right here. Won't be too exciting, but it'll be exciting. So pond is about 20 feet right here and about 15 feet bigger. I hauled about 10 loads out and actually just brought the truck over there to that side of the farm, threw a little bit over the fence so I can grade all that out. I've got more than I really need over there right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reach out here from the side and take out my little cofferdam, just pile this up right here, and then I'll get the rest of it from the other side over there. I want to go ahead and dig my ditch down a little deeper so that this will stay drained down as low as possible, and then pretty much see what the rain's going to do. What I think I'm going to do is maybe come back tomorrow if it's dry enough and strip some of this topsoil and start using that for the back side of the dam. But pretty much all that material over there is going to be wet in that channel, and I don't think it's going to be usable, so I'll have to find another location for that. But I think I can get majority of the clay that I need from this strip right through here. Stay tuned. Let's cut the dam out. Flood the new cut. across there near as far as I thought I was going to be able to. Oh well. That's going to be some nasty goopy mud. I'll just lay it right here. Let that dry out some. That relatively clean water, muddy. Definitely dried the head section out. So it definitely tells me that I'm digging it deeper and deeper. I've done these so long I can just kind of pretty much do them by eye now as far as something like this. And as long as I know where my water line is on the shoreline, it's pretty simple to figure out. Alright, well I'm going to go down here and start my ditch, work my way back up, and see how far I can get that cut down and maybe dry some of this out a little bit. Working on digging the drainage ditch a little deeper. So I just kind of went down there to where it kind of daylights out at. And I'm just going to try to skim a little of this off so that it doesn't fall into it. But I'm gonna have to find a home for all this wet dirt right here. It's just I can't use it in the pond dam. Lower down about a foot or so and hopefully get it where most of that will drain down is my goal. Bucket's starting to make the creaking noise again. Something with that linkage doesn't get greased right when I have the thumb folded up. So I got about 10 more minutes worth of work to do, and then it's going to be shut it down, and I can grease it before I work tomorrow. I can't stand stuff to make that noise. But I haven't used the thumb since the beaver pond, so it's been folded up. There's something in there that doesn't get greased. Even though you can get to all the fittings, something doesn't move right or something to get the grease it needs. So I'll take this bucket off and probably put the digging bucket back on. I gotta load some brush out tomorrow. Probably going to be too wet to work on the pond, but I got other stuff to do. Phone call. I guess we'll see here real quick. My ditch is adequate. I don't know if I quite was able to get it deep enough to drain this, but I made a good effort. straighten my path out over there before it rains, because then I will have a short enough fence. So I'll probably end up having to cut all that wet material out and lay over right here, load it out from this side. I'll have to haul it farther, but at least I don't have to climb over a fence. Gotta look at the bright side. And I can see that this is not going to be low enough. Well, maybe. Maybe. Just maybe. Yeah, it's going to be low enough. Would you just look at that? Muddy water, be free. If it was only as dry as it was when I cleared this. Unfortunately, it's not. Nowhere near that dry. Well, that looks like that's going to at least drain down about 6 or 8 inches or so. At least it won't get any fuller than it already was. So I'm fine with that. The problem with this stuff is the clay is so gooey, it will not wash it. If there's a little high spot, it will not wash it down. Alright, that's going to drain. I'm going to let that drain down and go fix my ruts over there with the skid steer. Well, this wind ought to dry some stuff out. I think I'm realizing I've got more mud than I have places to put mud. Oh well, I'll stockpile it somewhere, it'll dry out. Ditch is draining down, it looks like pretty good. So we'll see how much rain we get. It may work on stripping the topsoil off of that right there, and then using that clay to start that side of the pond dam. Somehow I've got to get, I got the D6 here, but I'll probably use the track loader. And I got to get the compactor over this ditch somehow, and everything's goop. We'll save that for another day. So the D6 took the rake off it, put it right there, all greased up, got some fuel in it. It's ready to go to work. Let's walk down here and check out what I'm going to work on today on the pond. Excavator is greased as well. It looks like my ditch worked pretty good last night, and there's not a whole lot. Let's see if I can make it across here without sinking. So far so good. So that drained down nicely. There's a lot of topsoil right in here. I'm gonna bring the dozer over here and start cutting this edge out right here, the shoreline. This topsoil should be drier, and I should be able to use it for the back slope of the pond dam to kind of help save some clay, since I think a lot of this is going to get kind of wet. So I'm going to come over here. It's not, maybe just 4 to 6 inches of topsoil. Come back here with the dozer. I think I can cross down here where it's not too terribly wet, and start pushing this up and kind of windrow it for the back slope of the dam. Then I may go ahead and cut the core trench in, or I may take and start stripping all this topsoil and laying it over there into a long windrow over there to expose the clay over here, and kind of be able to judge how much I'm going to have to work with. forgot how fast you can move dirt with the D6. So I got the back side of the dam pushed up. So dam's only going to be like 6 feet tall back there, not maybe 7 foot in the very center. Not going to be very tall at all. So I stripped all that topsoil off for kind of my slope, and I'll dig the core trench in front of that, build the core with the clay right here that I've stripped down to, and then the rest of it I pushed up right here. I'm going to jump on the excavator and go ahead and grab all this and lay it over the ditch and just stockpile it over there so I can back the truck in right there another day and load all that off, and then see what I need to do to start cutting some of this clay out and getting it transferred over here. I'll probably bring the 953 over here. I can't get the dump truck through there. It'll definitely get stuck. Betty will definitely get stuck. But I think I can get the 953 through there and scoop up this clay and take it over here to the pond dam, and or push it. I have options. It doesn't have to go too terribly far. But I need to make sure that this stuff is dry enough and will be suitable. All this is going to be pretty wet, I think, but we'll see. So I'm taking all this topsoil that I pushed up with the dozer and laying it over. Well, I need to cut out the high side. I'm sitting on mud, so it's making me tip over. I got dry dirt on this side and mud on this side. When I reach over with a bucket full, I tip over. See how it's all just sliding? So what I think I'm going to do now is change my game plan. The more I got looking at the forecast, there's a large chance of rain into the week and all next weekend, and I don't have a whole lot of time next week to work on this. So therefore, I could get this half of the pond dam built before the rain, or I could take advantage of the drier weather and haul all this topsoil over there. That way, if it's wet, I can work with the track equipment down here. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is transfer this over and then get the dump truck and go ahead and start loading this and stockpiling it at different areas. So I've kind of separated out. This is some drier, pretty clean topsoil. I'm going to stockpile it up front where I was clearing, and I can spread that along the edge of the hayfield when I cut the hay out of it, fill in some low areas. And I want to save some to go on top of the pond dam to cover this clay up, but I think I'm going to use the topsoil that I cut out for the road, because it literally looks like screen topsoil, and it's drier, but it's really clean. There's not a lot of sticks and stuff in it, so I'll get a prettier finished product out of that. So as much as I want to start digging, I think it's smart to go ahead and do all the hauling out of here while it's dry, and I can use the truck, because eventually this equipment's going to have to start heading out of here. I got a lot of projects about to kick off, so even this excavator is going to have to go eventually. So I'm just trying to use what I can here. The D6 is the only dozer I have here at the farm right now, and it's going to have to go to my next big job pretty soon. So just have to make it work. That, and if I went ahead and built this side of the pond dam I would have this dug down deeper than the ditch, and therefore it would hold water and just, it would be a pain. But there'll be a lot of long evenings after work moving dirt probably. But I'll get this thing done pretty quick, sooner than later. So I went ahead and stripped all the topsoil from right here and windrowed it up right here so I can load this out into the truck. It's really nice, pretty nice topsoil. So I definitely want to save that, because even though it looks like there's a lot of topsoil on this farm, it's kind of few and far between in a lot of areas. So I can definitely repurpose that around here into the fields and not bury it in a pond dam. As you can tell, I should have plenty of clay right here and over there as well. I think stripping that topsoil off should maybe allow this to dry out a little bit. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I don't know, it's pretty spongy, but I'm gonna go ahead and back the off-road truck down here and start loading some of this up and taking it to the front of the farm. And I got different spots to dump this different material, like the mud. First load heading out. So I parked a little bit farther away than normal because the ground looked wet. But it looks like it's gonna hold me up all right. So I got a long ways to haul this, so we are going to put the Hail Mary loads on it. That means every scoop of dirt that'll fit is going on there. Worth the time to save topsoil. The rest of that below this is just mud, so I'll probably put that in a different location, because that might not dry out by the time I want to do what I need to do with it. As far as spreading it in the field before summertime, after my hay's cut. Just have to wait and see. That'll work until we get stuck. Sure is nice to see the trees starting to leaf out. That field's more exciting. Never thought I'd be so excited about some grass. But I am excited for the first cutting of hay off of this farm. So probably, if I had to guess looking at it, 2 to 3 more weeks depending on the weather. We keep getting these warm days. But you can see right here, that's kind of where I want to put some of this topsoil at, where I took all these trees down. It's a lot of clay right there. You can just see how the grass didn't do near as good as the field out there. But that's gonna be nice when it's all cut into hay. The cows ought to be happy, that's for sure. Well, for no longer than I worked today, did make some progress. Was able to take the dozer and strip all the topsoil off. Got it windrowed back there for the back of the pond dam. And then I stripped all this topsoil off, laid it over here. I don't know how many loads I hauled, but a fair amount. So pretty much all this, there's just a little bit more unusable dirt right here. But I didn't want to cut this down lower than the ditch that'll flow out right now. If not, it'll just hold more water. But I mean, as you can tell, this really has only got to come down about maybe 2 more feet all through here, and that'll be the depth I'm looking for. That should put it around 6-7 feet right here in the center. And then I'll dig it deeper down there and get my 8 or 9 feet. But I think it's going to turn out nicely. I just took out my little coffer dam that's going to kind of flow out through there, and hopefully with this topsoil gone, this clay should dry out nice. It appears to be. So I'll probably start cutting right here and use that for the pond dam. Just got to see what the weather looks like. A lot of rain coming, so I may just finish digging all that topsoil out right there because it's all mud and I can't really use it for the pond dam. And that way I can use a lot of this clay and get rid of it right there. All right, till next time. I did forget one key information. The oak tree right there that I was so worried about that was going to die from the fire. Remember having a humongous fire right here? Obviously there was no leaves on it then, but it stayed hot for like 12 hours non-stop of the heat going through there, and luckily it doesn't look like it cremated any of the branches, so that's good. That big white oak will stay, and I'm ready for those to bloom out again. Bud out, whatever you want to call it. Leaf out. I'm ready for some leaves.